Your thoughts?
What? What? Who?
Nice.
All right.
That was weird. Good morning. It's so cold, even my camera doesn't want to work. It's our daily show on this frigid Wednesday. It's 8 degrees, and it feels like, well, it isn't out there. We got a good show for all of you coming down the pipeline. I believe Shelly Wuellner is going to be joining us in a couple of minutes here to talk about a little bit of her role as an advocate for, school lunches and what she does over there at the Bunker Hill School District. So we'll get that conversation. We rescheduled a couple of conversations to next week, and that's all good with me. We got a great show for all of you nonetheless. We got your daily dose of everything local news-wise, plus great conversations that we've had that we can intermix in. At 9:05, we'll take you right to the top of the hour of news now, and here's what you need to know. An Edwardsville resident, Christopher L. Haug, has been charged with serious multiple felonies after allegedly firing over 35 rounds into an occupied vehicle during an armed robbery on February the 16th. Haug faces serious charges, including attempted first-degree murder and armed robbery, alongside aggravated discharge of a firearm and being a felon in possession of a weapon. Reports indicate Haug shot at the victim, striking her multiple times before stealing her purse and her iPhone. Previously convicted of armed robbery, he is currently on parole and remains in custody, pending his initial appearance in court. The East Alton Police Department has identified the victim of the fatal fire incident, as Adam Moss, a 40-year-old man listed as homeless, known to frequent the East Alton and Alton areas. An autopsy conducted revealed that Moss succumbed to thermal burns and smoke inhalation with no signs of trauma or foul play detected. Police responded to a call around 3:45 a.m. and discovered Moss's body in the basement of a home alongside evidence of a recent fire. Investigators are treating the circumstances of his death as accidental, with further details still pending. As temperatures continue to drop, with highs expected in the very low teens, several warming centers are available for Riverbend residents. Locations include the Hainer Public Library District in Alton during open library hours, and the Salvation Army, which offers snacks and meals weekdays. Alton's overnight warming location at Deliverance Temple provides beds and meals from 5 p.m. until 8:30 a.m., and Edwardsville Public Library and Main Street Community Center also serve as warming centers alongside various libraries in Bethalto, Collinsville, and East Alton. Community members are encouraged to verify the availability of these centers, especially during the day of and when it's needed, especially during inclement weather, and be sure to let others know that might be experiencing some issues, especially during this very cold week. At the IHSA Class 3A sectional meet held at the Joliet Central High School, 4 wrestlers from Edwardsville and 2 from Belleville East advanced to the upcoming state meet. Edwardsville's Michael McNamara and Ryan Ritchie, Simon Schulte and Roman Janik secured their spots, with Ritchie and Schulte winning their respective championships in third-place matches. Belleville East Terrence Willis and Jonathan Rulo also qualified, with Rulo winning by fall in his final match. Unfortunately, wrestlers from Alton, Belleville West, Collinsville, Granite City, and O'Fallon unable to qualify. The state meet will take place February the 20th through the 22nd at the University of Illinois in Champaign-Urbana. And also in the news today, the Autism Clinic at Hope preparing for its annual Glow Bingo fundraiser, which is set for tomorrow at the Moose Lodge in Edwardsville. The event invites community members to enjoy an evening filled with games, a cash bar, and over $1,000 in prizes. Tickets are priced at $25 in advance and $30 at the door, with a discount for students. All proceeds will support Hope's programs for individuals on the autism spectrum, including the Hope Autism Clinics and the upcoming Diagnostic Center. Chief Communications Officer Jody Ogilvie emphasized the importance of community support and enhancing their services and advocating for those with autism. In a tightly contested match, Edwardsville girls basketball team was eliminated from the IHSA Class 4A Granite City Regional Semifinals, losing 42-36 to Quincy. On February the 17th, the game moved up due to the inclement weather, saw the Tigers struggle against Quincy's effective zone and defense. Head coach Brian Young praised his team's efforts throughout the season despite the disappointing outcome. Edwardsville led early on, but Quincy took control and maintained the lead, ultimately securing the win. The Tigers conclude the season with a record of 19-10, while Quincy improves to 20-10 on the season and move forward in the playoff race. We'll keep you updated throughout the IHSA playoffs for winter sports right here on RiverBender.com/sports. And finally in the news today, property owners near Strawbey Lane and Godfrey have requested that village trustees consider widening the road due to significant increases in traffic. Longtime resident Marilyn Kuhn highlighted the dangers of a narrow roadway, especially when accommodating larger vehicles. And Carol Baker, who has owned land nearby since 1972, echoed these concerns, noting the frequent presence of delivery trucks and recreational users like cyclists and joggers. Both residents identified issues with sharp turns and derelict properties, urging the village to address these hazards. Village engineer Rich Barron agreed to provide an estimate for potential road improvements. And that's a look at what's happening around the Riverbend on this 19th day of February on this very cold morning. You can see the closings and cancellations for the area on the red banner that's just below mine or above it. I'm not sure today. I haven't looked where it says closings and cancellations. We can take a quick check at weather. If you guys don't want to be too sad today, we can move on. It's up to you. It is 9 degrees and it feels like, well, it's not 9. It feels like it's 4. Today, bitterly cold with some sun, turning cloudy. A flurry later this afternoon, and be careful as those untreated surfaces will be slippery. And tonight, bitterly cold with clearing skies. Extended time outside can lead to hypothermia, plus unprotected pipes may freeze and eventually burst. So leave your pipes dripping that are exposed to an outside wall. As for temperatures today, they'll reach 15 degrees is what they're claiming, but I'll see it when I see it, and it's going to drop down to about -2 to -4 degrees tonight as we head into Thursday. On Thursday, a high of 18, a low of 0, and on Friday, a high of 23, a low of 13 degrees. On Saturday, sunny skies, a high of 42, a low of 22, and on Sunday, the 23rd of February, partly sunny skies and a high of 52 degrees. How about that? 52 degrees as we start off our week, and a low of 31. That's a look at the next 5 days. Here's what's happening now. It's 9:13 on this 19th day of February, and that's a look at what's happening around the Riverbend. You can stay up to date in real time all the time by going to RiverBender.com/weather or by calling 618-465-4545, this time powered by Bounce Back. Rehab, recover, and return. Hold on here. I'm trying to get to my papers. Hold on here. Here we go. All righty. Before we take a quick break, let me fill you in on Absolute Healthcare. New supporters of the show, and you'll be seeing their commercials here. If not today, tomorrow. I think I put them in this one today. We'll find out soon. Hey, at Absolute Healthcare, better healthcare really is their mission. They live by what's on their website. And, that care you can trust line, too, so important. We've all, not all of us, but the ones that have been in that caregiver role, know how stressful it is. And we know that, sometimes the caregiver, they struggle just as much, if not more, mentally than the person they're giving the care for. And at Absolute Healthcare Services, they totally understand that. And they know that caring for a loved one is a full-time job. And sometimes you just need a break. There's nothing wrong with it. Believe me, that's where Absolute Healthcare, Deb Ross and her team of 20 plus years comes in to help you. Their care services provide temporary relief for family caregivers so you can recharge while knowing your loved ones are in great hands. Whether it's for a couple of minutes or you're taking a little bit of a weekend getaway just to catch your breath, Absolute Healthcare is there for you. Whether it's a few hours, a few days, their compassionate team of caregivers are ready to help you and your family, your loved one, today, whether or not you need it for your loved one in your life or you need it for yourself because maybe you want to stay independent in your own home, but you just need a little bit of the day-to-day personalized in-home care, which we just talked about yesterday. We'll talk about it again tomorrow. You can find out more information about what Deb Ross and her team can do by going to ahcsllc.com. That's ahcsllc.com, or just call 618-466-1010. That's 618-466-1010. And don't forget to tell them that you know who sent you over their way. All righty. We'll take a quick break. Let's look at downtown Alton. More Daily Show on this Wednesday, right after this.
Bound to get what you deserve. Try and test that. You're bound to get served. Love's what I got. Don't start a riot. You feel it when the dance gets hot. Love is what I got. I said, remember that. Love is what I got. Remember that. Love.
Hey, would you drop by the pharmacy? My doctor switched my cholesterol medication.
Yeah, will do, honey. I'm glad he's looking out for you.
OSF Healthcare can handle all of your family's primary care needs, including managing chronic conditions. Schedule an appointment today.
What are you doing?
We did our home insurance ourselves, but don't feel protected.
So you're building your own American Family Insurance roof line?
Yeah, life's better when you're protected under American Family's roof.
That's not how it works.
Dad, we'll go. It's gonna hit.
See, that's how it works.
For real protection, save up to 23% by bundling your home and auto with us.
With over 20 years of experience, Wilson's Tree Service has the expertise to handle all of your tree care needs. Licensed and fully insured, their team of experts are dedicated to providing reliable service. Plus, with a 24-hour emergency service line, Wilson's will always be there for you. Don't risk tackling that timber by yourself. Trust the local professionals at Wilson's Tree Service. Visit treeservicealtonil.org to get started today.
No matter the season, Play It Again Sports in Edwardsville has the gear the athletes need to get in the game. Whether you're shopping for the newest sports equipment or saving money on quality used gear, Play It Again Sports carries what you need to maximize performance to get the most out of every swing, kick, stroke, or shot. We'll even buy your used goods, paying cash on the spot. We carry all the gear for all the sports all year long. We're your hometown sporting goods store. Play It Again Sports, conveniently located at 4 Club Center Court in Edwardsville. Picture This and More has been a trusted name in the Alton community for more than 30 years, with the last 3 being right here on Broadway. We specialize in quality framing at affordable prices. We also feature works by local artists because we're proud of our community. If you have valued treasures to display and preserve, we're sure to have the perfect fit with our large selection of custom framing and display options. Whatever color, shape, or size, Picture This and More has the look you need. Stop by today and let us help you with your next project.
Village Dispensary has the best deals in Godfrey, Illinois with specials 5 days a week. Mondays roll in the week with 20 to 30% off select pre-rolls. Tasty Tuesdays enjoy 20 to 30% off select edibles. Waxy Wednesdays enjoy 20 to 30% off select concentrate and vape brands. Thirsty Thursdays sip and save with 20 to 30% off all drinks. Flower Friday grabs like 3.5 gram flower deals starting at just $20. Village Dispensary, come meet your best buds.
You're listening to Our Daily Show with CJ Nasello on RiverBender.com.
Just begun.
Sharing horizons that are new to us. Watch watching the signs along the way. Talking it over, just the two of us, working together day to day.
Let's talk about that. All righty, welcome into our daily show, live interview. A little bit of snow ain't stopping Shelly. Welcome into the studio.
Hi.
Well, this is really cool. You know, we've been waiting on. I was talking with Hazel and Margaret for quite some time to get this interview going. You were the food service director for Bunker Hill School District, correct?
Correct.
And I also saw that you've been named an advocate across the state of Illinois for healthy school meal options.
Yes.
Take me through that role and just that announcement that I read the other day.
So I will be going to our Springfield office and speaking to legislators and our representatives about healthy meals for all for students. Every student should be able to get school food at no cost to them.
And good school food. You know, we
Yes.
were talking about that, and she brought me some food here today that was served, because I was telling you, when I went to school, and this isn't a slight on anybody, it's just the soggy chicken patty got a little low. That's all I'm... But with that being said, what'd you bring me into? This was breakfast?
This is what we serve for breakfast for the kids today. Our school, I mainly spend most of my time at the elementary school.
Okay.
And there we had fresh baked apple cinnamon muffins for breakfast. So
Hold on, John. We're in business here. Hold on. John and I were the only ones that came in today, so we're going to be in... Oh, my God. This is like homemade meal.
Yes.
I love it. How important. See, this is where I think this is really fascinating, because, you know, whenever you're doing this as director, I'm sure you have to have, you know, staff and employees that are just as passionate about this as you are because of the items you're preparing.
Absolutely. I mean, every item we serve is made 100% with love. I mean, your kids are our kids. We're feeding your kids just like we would feed our own kids. And I mean, that's how every lunch person approaches each day.
Yeah.
They want kids to eat. Our goal is for kids to eat.
Well, and right now, I mean, no matter what's going on in national news, you know, price of groceries are still up for so many people, and lunches are becoming so expensive, even for families that used to be able to afford it comfortably.
Yes.
And now to know that at least, you know, especially in your guys' school district, you know, you aren't sacrificing, you know, maybe, you know, your child's lunch for something that's not as healthy for them.
Right. That is correct. We have so many guidelines that we have to follow, state guidelines, federal guidelines. And it really, when I see pictures, if you do a search on the internet.
Get out of here. Freaking get out of this studio. That is incredible. I'm jealous. I want to go back to school.
Absolutely. Well, you need to come. I mean, Bunker Hill is a great school. All school cafeterias, you know, do their best. And it makes me sad when I see on social media pictures of a student, this is what they served me for lunch today. And I can honestly say that that's what your child chose.
Yeah.
We offer 2 different fruits, 2 different vegetables, different entrees, and milk choices. I mean, kids get to choose what they want. So if they only chose that item, they didn't take full advantage of the lunch meal. We want kids, a learning kid needs to be fueled. Our fuel is our food.
Right.
And that trickles down in everything. So if a kid is hungry, they can't focus, they aren't behaved, they have, you know, they struggle. So, and I believe in the Hobbit way of eating. You know, there's first breakfast, second breakfast, there's 11sies and noonsies. I mean, you eat all you want. We want you guys to eat. And we're serving you food that we would eat. That's really good.
I mean, that's fantastic. I'm being serious. That's wonderful. And on top of that, I mean, even at work, I mean, even in our adult lives, sometimes you see a kid maybe that's starving all day and they get to lunch. And, you know, I would see it just when I was in school, and they would eat, you know, 4 or 5 of these chicken patties, and they're exhausted in a half hour because all they're doing is just, you know, throwing, you know, just a ton of carbs down, and a ton down, you aren't going to be able to move.
Right. Yep. That's why I like the guidelines that we do have. I mean, a lot of people, they don't think. So as an adult, you look at you go to feed your children, and your mind is adult portion.
Right.
And we have to remember that we serve in our district, all districts, we serve pre-K through 12th grade. So we have different guidelines for pre-K students, different guidelines for K through 6th grade, and then 6th grade to 8th grade, and 9th grade to 12th grade. I mean, so you have to remember that we have to feed childlike portions.
Yeah.
And I get it. I was the mom of 2 boys. I mean, I know you cannot feed a child enough food in a day. So, let them eat. I don't even care if kids, I get excited when kids will bring their lunch from home and then want to get our lunch too.
Right.
I'm like, eat all you want.
When it shows that it's pretty darn good food if they're ready for seconds too,
Yes.
Well, and I think, how, especially in your role, how have you seen food service and just food management in terms of public schools change or alter the last couple of years, if you don't mind me asking?
Not at all. When I first started, I've been with the district for 17 years.
Wow.
Now, and when I first started, it was really, you got to think 17 years ago, they were cutting costs. So most places cut cafeteria workers and lower, you need teachers, you need principals, so everything became heat and serve. And heat and serve is highly processed and not nutrient full like fresh fruits and vegetables are. So here we fast forward. Michelle Obama started first with the healthier meals, and those guidelines were a little strict at first, but I mean, we've all kind of, change is hard. So we've gotten used to it, and we're really focused on, making scratch, or we call it speed scratch, where you might take, like, I don't have the ability to make homemade pizza crust. So I'll buy my pizza crust, but then I can put all this other stuff separately on top of the pizza instead of ordering processed pizza in. Right. But, there are some things that are processed that are the kids' favorites too. So you have to balance that all. And now in the state of Illinois, especially, but across the United States, there's a big push for farm to school.
Right.
And that is my favorite. And I wish that every school was participating in that.
I agree.
I know that the state of Illinois was awarded $7 million from the USDA for foods from, they call it local foods for schools. And there are some guidelines that you have to follow, but still you get to work with farmers to get fresh products to your building, to your district, so that you can serve scratch and fresh and make it easier, and you're supporting your local economies.
Right.
So,
well, and the economy numbers are going to be fascinating to see, because that's going to just, I mean, if it really does happen, would be so beneficial for those that local supply chain. It'd be just exponential.
Absolutely.
But on top of that, though, too, I'm sure whenever you truly know your point of contact for your food supplier, and not just a rep somewhere, but really being able to communicate, that changes, I'm sure, your whole management plan, because you're able to actively communicate with that, direct supplier on what they're seeing in terms of growth and crops and, meat producing and all that stuff that's really important.
Right. Yes, for sure.
Really cool. Now, what are you doing in terms of your role now? I know you said just a couple of minutes ago before we came on, you're getting ready to head out to Washington soon?
Yes.
This is exciting.
It is. It's very exciting. This will be my 4th or 5th year. I've lost track. A group that I belong to, the School Nutrition Association, and we fly out to DC every year in March for the Legislative Action Conference, where we go and we speak to Congress people about the importance of school meals and being financially responsible. And I mean, it's a great time. I mean,
yeah,
DC is amazing.
And it feels like it shouldn't be a partisan issue, No.
I mean, every kid is, every kid deserves to eat
a good meal too.
Yes.
So I feel like, it's got to be one of those times where if I'm, especially in one of those tighter districts or somewhere where I can be a little bit more free with, I'm ready to meet with anybody, because we should all be coming together over healthy school food options.
Absolutely.
You said you've gone a couple of times now. In the couple of times you've gone, have you been able to have some pretty important conversations about this stuff?
Yes, we have. I mean, we really do get excited to go into DC and meet with Congress. And this year when we go, for Illinois, we have gotten together and put pictures from all of the school districts that are in this group, this organization. And so now we can go in and say, here, these are the districts that you represent. These are your constituents. Hunger doesn't know anything.
Right.
And you never know what's going on in anybody's house. It doesn't matter if you're the president of the United States. We don't know what your issues are or not.
I agree.
we should not be punishing children for adult issues.
That's such a good point too, because sometimes, and I'm not saying this happens all the time, but it seems like, we always look at maybe the kids that come from maybe affluent families or maybe more considered wealthier families. And, we don't know if, maybe mom and dad are having some issues at home or someone's sick at home and, all of a sudden lunch is stopped and they, aren't getting meals. Well, they still need to eat too. So there's just, like you said, you never know when you're going to need to kind of be there for any student,
Right.
So fascinating. What about, how do they feel about the meals? Have you had any conversations with them just about, kind of their value in what you guys are serving?
A lot of people do get that, and they do see the need. It's 50-50, I would say, so it's really important for us to go and be able to act as the voice for the child.
Right.
I mean, when you see, I have seen it, I've been to other schools and I've spoken with lots of other directors. When you see a child come in and that they're starving.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't care why you're starving. You just come see us. Yeah. We're going to feed you. Our busiest days are typically Fridays and Mondays. And when you look at that pattern, it's Friday, they're heading into the weekend. And then Monday, they're coming off the weekend. And where was the consistency? And I'm not saying that any parent is a bad parent.
Right.
Life is busy. Life is hard. Adulting is hard. And children need that love. And
what takes a village,
absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Well, and I wanted to follow up on the whole conversation about this farm to table thing, because, the processed foods and this, additives that are being talked about now,
yes.
and I'm sure there's going to be quite a few changes that are just being discussed in the forefront of this. Just interested to see what happens in a couple of years. What are you, your guys' thoughts on, the snack side of the school lunch? Because when I was, in school, I could go in and have the healthiest meal sometimes, or maybe something that's considered, healthier. And then there's, the optional bags of, chips that have that had the red dye 40 at the time, the Flamin' Hot Cheetos of the world and all of that.
Right.
Do you guys have that option at your guys' school?
We do have extra snacks for purchase for certain grade levels.
Okay.
And they're called smart snacks. So they have to meet the guidelines that they've set out for them. We don't have, so we serve baked chips, baked Doritos, whole grain Rice Krispies.
Wow.
So, I mean, those options, there are healthier options. You just have to look for them. But in our schools, that's what we serve. So we also go up against, we are our own marketing department.
True.
We don't have a multi-million-dollar marketing plan like Frito-Lay does, and I'm not.
You aren't Ronald McDonald.
Right. So, I mean.
Yeah, this is so cool.
Yeah, we have to give kids competitive items that are recognizable. There's a lot of food, and I get excited when we do have products that we do serve, like our pizza. We served one of the kids' favorites was a Wild Mike's pizza.
Mm-hmm.
You can buy Wild Mike's in the grocery store. I saw it at Schnucks, and I always try to take pictures of things that they have at the grocery store that we serve the kids. So there is that item. Tyson is a huge supporter of school districts. So Tyson chicken is a really good chicken. That's what we're serving our kids. So
well, and that's another thing too, where it's a conversation maybe to have with your children always about what are we putting into our bodies, and and are we eating the healthiest options, or are we even eating?
Right.
I know that sometimes kids just maybe say they're going to lunch and decide to hang out instead too.
Right. Really? They do that. Kids are kids. So.
Well, you're right, and what is the biggest challenge do you think in your role?
There's a couple. People forget that we don't have a marketing department. We are serving kids food that we would eat. If you walked into our freezer in our district right now, you would see all beef patties, all beef hamburger for spaghetti. Mm-hmm. You would see all white meat chicken. Everything is our hot dogs, 100% pure beef. I don't serve the vegetable protein or soy protein items. I want our kids to have the best that they can have. Yeah. Fresh fruits and vegetable. Kids don't always recognize. We serve fresh oranges, apples, grapes, strawberries, bananas, kiwis, pears, and my favorite thing is for a kid to go, what is that? And that's a peach, or that's a grape, because they don't see it. So parents should be your most important items in the grocery store are on the outside. So walk them through the grocery store and they'll see that's fresh broccoli. We had that at school. So, I mean, bringing that concept to your kids is important too.
Well, and I'm sure that's actually a very fascinating point, because then you all get a perspective on what's being eaten at home anyway, because I'm sure a child that does have a very diverse, meal plan, and they have a very diverse, diet as a whole, they don't have any qualm or issue about, the foods that are maybe unique to some others.
Correct. We have, just yesterday we served hamburgers, fries. Our vegetable was fried. That's another hard concept for kids. French fries, they're made from potatoes, but they forget potatoes are a vegetable. So we served French fries and carrots or cauliflower. And you would be surprised at how many kids actually chose the carrots or cauliflower that were cooked over the French fries.
Really?
It's fascinating to me. I get excited about stuff like that because French fries, yes, I love a good French fry. But, I mean, I love it when kids are like, I can get French fries anytime. I'm going to have this instead.
Well, and see, that's where I find it unique, too, because it's a little bit more than just food. It's trying new things.
Right, exposing them.
Right, because, there's nothing more challenging for some than trying a new food item, especially as you get older. The harder you are, or the older you are, the harder it gets to really do those things, and to expose children to say, hey, it's okay to try something. Because I had a rule, I came from an Italian family, so, not eating was not an option.
Right.
But it was, you always at least had to try it. If you didn't like it, that's fine, but you're going to at least try it, not just not do it,
Right.
Really cool.
I love picky eaters. Those are my favorite. Picky eaters, because they're easy to say, try this, and I'll sit down and I'll eat with a kid and eat the same things that they have, and I'll be like, oh, let's try it together, or have you tried this? Let me know what you think. You've got to be involved and engaged with the kids.
This is so cool. Yeah, a moment to stick around?
I do.
9:35, a little bit of change before I take a quick break. Let me fill you in on... we'll do Denise Sparks. Denise Sparks! She's the queen of junk. Denise Sparks is the best. A couple of years ago, she told me she was going to start her weekly trash pickup business and take on the big trash company because they just weren't doing the job that most people needed. And I totally understood it, and she hasn't looked back. Those trash cans popping up like bunny rabbits, just purple and yellow trash cans all throughout the 618 because she answers her phone. At Sparks Junk Removal, when you call 618-781-1407, that's who you get. For 20 plus years, Denise has been the queen of junk, and now for the next 20, she's the queen of junk and trash. Whether or not you have to get that hot tub that's been broken down in your yard since Bill Clinton was first in office, or if your neighbor's getting ready to report you to your city alderman, time to call it Denise. 781-1407 or sparksjunkremoval.net today.
Have a rash, pink eye, or urinary tract infection and need care now? OSF On Call Urgent Care is here to treat you. Start a virtual visit 24/7, whenever and wherever you need it. It's just that easy. OSFOnCall.org/virtual visit.
Has free checking become a thing of the past? Not if Liberty has anything to say about it. With 3 free personal checking options and even a free business checking account, free is alive and well at Liberty Bank. The local bank that gives you free checking choices and more cashing in your pocket. Bank locally, bank Liberty. For more information, visit www.bankliberty.com.
I set the thermostat so my house would be warm when I got home from work, but the kitchen is still cool.
At Barrett Heating and Cooling, we stand behind every Linux system we sell.
My dealer said he'd take care of everything.
At Barrett Heating and Cooling, we understand everyone wants prompt, professional service.
Turns out it wasn't my furnace after all, just a little something blocking the vent.
Pretty smart dog if you ask me. For service you can count on, call Barrett Heating and Cooling.
Lennox, innovation never felt so good.
Brent Walker knows how to get results for Alton because he's done it. as Mayor Brandt froze the property tax levy and balanced the budget. His economic development policy stimulated $116 million in private capital investment. Community policing and increased resources for public safety led to a decrease in crime. And under Brant Walker's leadership, Alton secured more than $10 million in extra grant funds for infrastructure and park improvements. Move Alton forward with Brant Walker.
Macias Insurance Agency, providing quality products with extremely competitive prices. As an independent provider, we source multiple companies to offer the best rates possible, covering auto, home, business, and life insurance. Our goal is to provide quality service that meets and exceeds customer expectations. You can rest easy knowing the Macias team is working round the clock to ensure that both you and the most important parts of your life are covered. Our qualified professionals make the insurance process easy so you can live carefree and focus on what matters most. Visit MaciasInsuranceAgency.com today to find out what our team can do for you.
You're listening to Our Daily Show with CJ Nasello on RiverBender.com.
$9:39, that is the time on this 19th day of February. It is a Wednesday. We are almost out of this dreadful month. We're almost there, Shelly.
Oh, thank goodness.
Are you a summer person?
I am. I don't like to be cold at all. I'm pretty sure I'm part bear and should be hibernating right now.
I'm one of those people where the moment I get home on a Friday and I know that I don't do any live shows on the weekends during the wintertime. I just can't even fake it unless it's 70 degrees. But I will be home and not answer anybody for 2 days. People think I'm dead sometimes.
Oh my God.
With that being said, though, I was so excited to have you on because the more parents know about kind of what's going on in the school setting in terms of food is so important. And
yes,
especially, I'm so glad this national conversation has become more and more prevalent because, like you said, it started years ago. It wasn't just overnight this was coming up. It just took some time, and I think we're at a very interesting section to see what happens with the preservatives in food and what happens with these school lunch options, too. Do you think it gets better? I mean, you're the one that's in this role, and you have the perspective on this.
I do. I really think that it's going to get better. I also serve on the Dietary Guideline Advisory Committee.
Oh, wow.
That's a national committee.
Yeah.
So not that I spoke during any of this time, but to be able to be in there and listening and see where we're moving. And I loved the more natural we can get our food, the better off we're going to be for sure. And I love that. I am disappointed with Illinois when I said they got $7 million. And any school can apply for that local food for school funding. And out of the $7 million, they still have $6 million left. Because,
when did that start?
That's been 2 years running, and they just the USDA keeps giving money for that. Schools need to take advantage of that. I mean, we've served brisket. I've told you that. We've served brisket at our school, and I mean, you can get your brisket, you can get your ground beef from a local farmer, fresh. Why wouldn't you get that stuff from them?
You just hit it on the head. I mean, especially if there's grant funding available.
Yes.
And especially in our area, we have a lot of really good producers of
Absolutely.
If meat, veg, you name it, there's a lot of good producers. Take advantage of it.
Absolutely.
Are the guidelines pretty strict for that grant?
They are.
Okay.
And really, if you reach out to your Illinois State Board of Education Child Nutrition Program and say, this is what I'm looking at, that is in charge of the local fundings, local foods for school, they will tell you, yes, you can do that, or no, you can't do that. So, I mean, it's pretty easy to do.
Wow.
It took me a minute to get comfortable with that to where I'm like, okay, now I feel confident and I can go to our producers, our farmers, and get those products. So,
right.
I mean, if I have to spend all $6 million that's left on my district, I'll do it.
I'm not going to fault you for doing it. I'm just going to say, if you're the only one that decides to. But see, the thing is, though, parents need to know that so they can let their districts know, hey, I heard of this. Are we pursuing it?
Right.
And they should.
Yes, you can always. Your food service directors love to hear feedback from parents. I mean, we don't always want to hear.
At least we'll keep it adult.
Be nice.
Social media's been nuts about school districts.
Yes.
Lately.
So, I mean, you can reach out to the food service director and say, hey, have you looked into this? Why Why aren't you spending this
Yeah.
money? And get that food, get that funding for those kids. And I mean, you're going to see a difference. You can't, it's not we're also at Bunker Hill, we're also still self-operated, which means that we're not Aramark, we're not Morrison, so we're still our own operators. So our investment is our students.
Yeah.
And so if I'm going to spend my money, I can't make a profit. I'm going to spend my money on the kids and get the best that I can for the kids. They deserve it.
Do you think that helps having it in-house?
I really do think so. I mean,
I know, because I get the cost, and all that, the efficiency, the term that everyone uses, but it just, to me, I would much rather have the control over kind of just the food operation, more of a hands-on role than maybe just a subsidized contract out, because I'm not saying they do a bad job at all.
Right.
Because they're wonderful people. It's just, I like to kind of have more oversight, especially when it comes to nutrition and things like that.
Right. I agree with that. I'm not saying food management companies are bad at all.
God, no.
But our priority is our students and giving them
It's
the
not
best.
a bottom line.
No.
Yeah, see, that's fascinating, because it shouldn't be a business. I mean, it's a business that really shouldn't be a business when it comes to just public health and all of that. And two, when you have kids that are excited about lunch, it almost seems like, and I'm sure you probably have seen this or observed, it just seems like the community of the school becomes a little bit better too, because it becomes more of that kind of family atmosphere without being, sitting at a complete dinner table with just 4 people,
Right.
Wow.
Absolutely. We have 600 students in our district, and I say I have 600 children, and I'll feed them all. And, that is, the kids I get excited when the kids talk about, when the high school kids will come in and they say, we feel like we're at a restaurant. Because they do get so many choices, and it all looks good. It's eye appealing. Kids eat with their eyes, and we'll have kids transfer into our district, and they are just blown away by what we offer our kids. They love it. I never get tired of hearing all the good, and I'm proud of that. My team does a wonderful job at both buildings serving their best.
There was an individual I had on a couple of months back. Maybe it was a year ago. It might have been a year ago. Farm Meat. And what he created was a platform for local farmers and producers of meat to have a marketplace for it.
Nice.
And it's one of those where it's just things like that where while you're talking about this, it's like I think about all the different, opportunities for other local, suppliers in case there are interested going, hey, I heard you, talking about this. I'd love to at least fill you in on some of the things that we have to offer and see if you're interested.
Yeah.
That's cool. I like it.
Yeah, it's great. We are responsible, schools are responsible for kids from the time they pick them up until the time they drop them home. Don't you think it's our responsibility to make sure that they're fed also?
Yeah. Well, how long is it? See, this is where I find it fascinating too, because now that you, like you said, you're your own food management service, how do supply chain disruptions affect you?
I am lucky enough that if I can't get something from my distributor, I can go to Sam's or Walmart or the grocery store.
Fascinating. You can do. See, I didn't know if the regulations allowed for that.
No, I can do that. I don't like doing that.
Well, I'm sure.
But I mean, because I don't like to let the kids down.
Right.
So I'll find it. If we're supposed to have it, I'll find it. If I can't find it, then we'll swap around the menu and I'll get it the next time. But you don't want to disappoint the kids.
Right.
They're a captive audience while they're in that building. So. And lunchtime and breakfast, that's their time. That's their time that they don't have to sit down and be quiet. They can talk with their friends and enjoy their time. So it's really more like a socialization. Food is social. Food is love. And so we do what we can to stay within where we are. It's much better now than what it was during COVID.
Oh, I'm sure that had to have been terrible.
That was rough.
Oh, that had been terrible. See, that's why I got in a lot of trouble, because I felt bad for I knew, the kids that didn't have meals for so long, and school was, I hate to be honest, bring the mood down, but that was their only hot meal of the day for so many of those kids in public school settings, and it was just awful. It seems like there's a trust factor there with that too, because just from my interpretation, if someone's cooking you a good meal and you're loving it, you're looking forward to that every day, I'm sure the kids trust you all in a way where you can see, maybe not saying you're going to be the hawk that observes everybody, but you could tell if little Johnny isn't acting right the last couple of days, and it becomes more of a really good village mentality.
Absolutely. That way. Yes. We always, as a mom also, when you see a kid, have you used the restroom today? Did you eat today?
Yep.
You go down the checklist, and maybe if you just eat a little bit of this, I mean, it is about the success of the kid. We want the kids to behave in the classroom. We want the kids to have the energy to stay awake and learn. And I mean, your brain needs fuel. Fuel is food. That's their food. Their fuel is food.
Yeah.
So why aren't we making sure that we're giving them the best fuel? It's the highest octane gasoline we can give a kid.
100%. And now with that, when do you head to Washington?
I head March 8th.
Wow. Oh, so you're heading out pretty soon.
Yeah.
And now, do you have some representatives you're going to be meeting out there?
I do. We have 7 representatives that we're going to meet with. Congressman LaHood, Congresswoman Mary Miller.
Mm-hmm.
We might meet with their staff, but
their offices.
I
haven't had Mary on the show. I've had Nikki on, but I haven't had Mary yet. I have to do that.
Congresswoman Nikki Baczynski is amazing.
She is.
She loves the school food, and it's all tied with the agricultural bill, the farm bill, the USDA. All that stuff is tied together. That's where our money comes from. So we have to watch that, make sure that we don't get lost in the shuffle.
I love it. Well, what else would you like the public to know about, today before we say goodbye for now?
We really are serving your kids out of love and hope that they eat school meals. So send them to school hungry. We'll feed them.
And now if somebody out there, like I said, is a supplier, and, they maybe had no information on this by the time, they're watching this, we get the article out. How can they contact you to learn more about maybe partnership opportunities or ways that they could, keep kids healthy?
They can reach out to me on our website or my email. It's rwoellner@bhcusd.org.
Really cool. And we'll link that in the article, too, on Riverbender. And like I said, I really appreciate your time today. And we'll have to have you back on once you get back from Washington. Because especially now, I really mean this. It's not a political thing or my thoughts. It's just you're definitely seeing some shifts when it comes to this kind of conversation. So it's going to be interesting to see the news that comes out in the next couple of years, and we'd love to have your insights on it.
Yeah, I'd be happy to share them.
Awesome. We'll take a quick break. It's 9:50 on this Wednesday morning. While I have you, let me fill you in on OSF Healthcare. That sounds good today. The other day my grandma had the flu. She had that influenza A that everyone was getting. And we took her to an urgent where she called me finally because you know how, I hate to say it, but older people are a little stubborn. And I love my grandma to death. She's my best friend. But man, she was tough. And she goes, finally, I'm going to go to urgent care. So we go to urgent care and I got there with her and they said, well, it's going to be 4 hours. And we said, there's no one here. Well, it's by appointment only. What type of urgent care is by appointment? I don't think that's urgent care.
That's not urgent.
Not the point, but we decided to head down the road to OSF Prompt Care right there on Godfrey Road, and they treated her like family. It was seriously 5 minutes. They sat her down, they go, oh man, you don't sound good. They got her in the back of the room. They gave her antibiotics. She was out in 20 minutes.
Nice.
She started her recovery and she's feeling so much better. I just want to make that point clear that OSF is here to help you and your family the moment you need them the most. We don't want to congest those emergency rooms for folks that truly need them. So if you have any of those flu-like symptoms or things that are kind of just bugging you for the last couple of days, especially with these weather changes, I highly encourage you to go to OSF Healthcare's Prompt Care office right there next to Walmart and Godfrey. You can also learn more about OSF St. Anthony's Health Center at osfhealthcare.org. And don't forget to tell them that you know who in Riverbender sent you over their way.
Oh no, another bad headache? Yeah. Maybe it's time to see your doctor.
OSF Healthcare can handle all of your family's primary care needs, including diagnosing health issues or referring you to a specialist. Schedule an appointment today.
No matter the season, Play It Again Sports in Edwardsville has the gear the athletes need to get in the game. Whether you're shopping for the newest sports equipment or saving money on quality used gear, Play It Again Sports carries what you need to maximize performance to get the most out of every swing, kick, stroke, or shot. We'll even buy your used goods, paying cash on the spot. We carry all the gear for all the sports all year long. We're your hometown sporting goods store. Play It Again Sports, conveniently located at 4 Club Center Court in Edwardsville.
Yo, what up? It's Mike Keith, the proud graduate of Lewis and Clark Community College. I got my start in broadcasting and now I work all over the country. I discovered my path in media, but I could have been an electrician. Or I could have been a nurse.
Maybe not.
Get paid to go solar. We're not solar bros.
At Grid, we're solar pros. We explain the process behind solar power so you can make an informed decision. We'll work with you to make owning your power as simple as possible and affordable with zero down financing and payment options. Our only goal is to save you money. Call Grid when you're ready to be independent of the power company.
Looking for the best barbecue in Madison County? Head over to Carver's Barbecue in Godfrey, Illinois. From loaded barbecue nachos to mouth-watering pulled pork, brisket, ribs, and more, Carver's serves up award-winning flavors you'll love. Family-owned, Carver's is all about fresh, made in-house dishes served daily. Come visit us at 2716 Groveland in Godfrey, or give us a call at 618-467-9999. Order online, get it catered, or stop by for the best smoked meats around. Where great flavors meet family tradition, you'll find Carver's Barbecue.
Since 1993, Sparks Junk Removal is always adapting to the needs of our clients. That is why we now offer weekly trash pickup for selected areas. Plus, we offer driveway-safe rubber-tired dumpster rental. Give us a call today at 618-781-1407 or visit us at sparksjunkremoval.net.
You're listening to Our Daily Show with CJ Nasello on RiverBender.com.
Have a rash, pink eye, or urinary tract infection and need care now? OSF On-Call Urgent Care is here to treat you. Start a virtual visit 24/7, whenever and wherever you need it. It's just that easy. osfoncall.org/virtual visit.
Has free checking become a thing of the past? Not if Liberty has anything to say about it. With 3 free personal checking options and even a free business checking account, free is alive and well at Liberty Bank. The local bank that gives you free checking choices and more cashing in your pocket. Bank locally, bank Liberty. For more information, visit www.bankliberty.com.
I set the thermostat so my house would be warm when I got home from work, but the kitchen is still cool.
At Barrett Heating and Cooling, we stand behind every Linux system we sell.
My dealer said he'd take care of everything.
At Barrett Heating and Cooling, we understand everyone wants prompt, professional service.
Turns out it wasn't my furnace after all, just a little something blocking the vent.
Pretty smart dog if you ask me. For service you can count on, call Barrett Heating and Cooling.
Lennox. Innovation never felt so good.
Brant Walker knows how to get results for Alton because he's done it. As Mayor Brant froze the property tax levy and balanced the budget, his economic development policy stimulated $116 million in private capital investment. Community policing and increased resources for public safety led to a decrease in crime. And under Brant Walker's leadership, Alton secured more than $10 million in extra grant funds for infrastructure and park improvements. Move Alton forward with Brant Walker.
Macias Insurance Agency, providing quality products with extremely competitive prices. As an independent provider, we source multiple companies to offer the best rates possible, covering auto, home, business, and life insurance. Our goal is to provide quality service that meets and exceeds customer expectations. You can rest easy knowing the Macias team is working round the clock to ensure that both you and the most important parts of your life are covered. Our qualified professionals make the insurance process easy so you can live carefree and focus on what matters most. Visit MaciasInsuranceAgency.com today to find out what our team can do for you.
You're listening to Our Daily Show with CJ Nasello on RiverBender.com.
Welcome back, Daily Show 958. As we are creeping closer and closer to April the 1st, the municipal election, We've had so many people weighing in on it on the show, from the likes of Lee Barham and Paul Nicolucci and so many others. But like we've all kind of determined, there's so many races to kind of follow, and Godfrey, Alton, and Edwardsville and Collinsville. But one thing we did want to make sure that you all are aware of is that there is a formal Alton mayoral debate, not a forum, a debate, a true traditional debate will be held Thursday, March the 13th. It's presented by the Alton Community Awareness Panel and LeMay's Catering, and it's Thursday, March the 13th, the Alton mayoral debate. Mayor David Goins, former Mayor Brant Walker, and Alderman Ray Strabel set to attend. Candidates will answer directly from the public. There will be no prepared questions. The candidates will take direct questions from citizens of Alton, whom they are seeking to get votes from, while they expect the public to be respectful, or they will be asked to leave. No food and drinks allowed, but you can purchase them on site. Attendance for this important and historic event, and there is no prepared notes from the candidates. That's a big one. So this is a true debate. It's going to be held March the 13th. Over there at LeMay's Catering, 909 East Broadway, and this is going to be one that I'm going to be watching here, and I just wanted to make sure that you all were aware of that as we head into top of the hour news. We'll break really briefly for news at 9:59. It is 11 degrees in downtown Alton, and it feels like negative 11 out there. You're listening to our daily show with me, CJ Nasello, right here on RiverBender.com, Roku TV, all of the podcasting apps, all of the social medias we simulcast to that I don't realize. We'll be back as we come across 10 o'clock here on downtown Alton on RiverBender.com.
Oh no, another bad headache? Yeah. Maybe it's time to see your doctor.
OSF Healthcare can handle all of your family's primary care needs, including diagnosing health issues or referring you to a specialist. Schedule an appointment today.
No matter the season, Play It Again Sports in Edwardsville has the gear the athletes need to get in the game. Whether you're shopping for the newest sports equipment or saving money on quality used gear, Play It Again Sports carries what you need to maximize performance to get the most out of every swing, kick, stroke, or shot. We'll even buy your used goods, paying cash on the spot. We carry all the gear for all the sports all year long. We're your hometown sporting goods store. Play It Again Sports, conveniently located at 4 Club Center Court in Edwardsville.
Yo, what up? It's Mike Keith, the proud graduate of Lewis and Clark Community College. I got my start in broadcasting and now I work all over the country. I discovered my path in media, but I could have been an electrician. Or I could have been a nurse.
Maybe not.
Get paid to go solar.
We're not solar bros. At Grid, we're solar pros. We explain the process behind solar power so you can make an informed decision. We'll work with you to make owning your power as simple as possible and affordable with zero down financing and payment options. Our only goal is to save you money. Call Grid when you're ready to be independent of the power company.
Looking for the best barbecue in Madison County? Head over to Carver's Barbecue in Godfrey, Illinois. From loaded barbecue nachos to mouth-watering pulled pork, brisket, ribs, and more, Carver's serves up award-winning flavors you'll love. Family-owned, Carver's is all about fresh, made in-house dishes served daily. Come visit us at 2716 Groveland in Godfrey, or give us a call at 618-467-9999. Order online, get it catered, or stop by for the best smoked meats around. Where great flavors meet family tradition, you'll find Carver's Barbecue.
Since 1993, Sparks Junk Removal is always adapting to the needs of our clients. That is why we now offer weekly trash pickup for selected areas. Plus, we offer driveway-safe rubber-tired dumpster rental. Give us a call today at 618-781-1407 or visit us at sparksjunkremoval.net.
You're listening to Our Daily Show with CJ Nasello on RiverBender.com.
I wanna be free to know the things I do are right. I wanna be free, just me, oh man.
Welcome back. Daily Show. Little Lionel Richie for you. Yeah, hold on here. All tangled up. Top of the hour news at 10. That was loud. Top of the hour news at 10:03. Here's what you need to know on this. Is it a Wednesday? It might, but it feels like yesterday. Okay, we'll take you to top of the hour news now. Make sure you sign up for your daily email update where you can join myself and 70,000 plus in the know. City officials in St. Louis reported the tragic death of an unhoused woman discovered on Clark Avenue on Tuesday morning. The St. Louis Metropolitan Police Department, along with emergency medical services, responded to the scene where she was pronounced deceased, with temperatures dropping to a high of only 14 degrees and a low of 9 that night. The cold weather posed significant risks. Mayor Tashara Jones' office stated that foul play not suspected, and the official cause of death will be determined by a medical examiner. The city expressed condolences, emphasizing efforts to provide shelter for unhoused individuals during the severe weather. Also in the news this morning, back here in Godfrey, property owners near Strawbey Lane have requested village trustees consider widening the road due to a significant increase in traffic. Longtime resident Marilyn Kuhn highlighted the dangers of the narrow roadway, especially when accommodating larger vehicles. Carol Baker, who has owned land nearby since 1972, echoed these concerns, noting the frequent presence of delivery trucks and recreational users like cyclists and joggers. Both residents identified issues with sharp turns and derelict properties, urging the village to address these hazards. Village engineer Richard Barron will provide an estimate for potential road improvements on Strawbey Lane, and we will keep you updated as more details on that potential project do roll out. Also in the news today, an Edwardsville resident, 34-year-old Christopher L. Haug, has been charged with multiple felonies after allegedly firing over 35 rounds into an occupied vehicle during an armed robbery. On February the 16th, Haug faces serious charges, including attempted first-degree murder and armed robbery, alongside aggravated discharge of a firearm and being a felon in possession of a weapon. Reports indicate Haug shot at the victim, striking her multiple times before stealing her purse and her iPhone. Previously convicted of armed robbery, he is currently on parole and currently remains in custody pending his initial appearance in court. We will keep you updated as more details on this case do roll out. The East Alton Police Department has identified the victim of the fatal incident on Bond Avenue as Adam Moss, a 40-year-old that is listed as homeless, known to frequent the East Alton and Alton areas. An autopsy conducted in Springfield revealed that Moss succumbed to thermal burns and smoke inhalation with no signs of trauma or foul play detected. Police responded to the call around 3:45 a.m. and discovered Moss's body in the basement of a home alongside evidence of a recent fire. Investigators are treating the circumstances of his death as accidental, with further details still pending. As temperatures drop, with highs expected only to reach a couple of more degrees and plummet overnight to negative temps, several warming centers are available for Riverbend residents. Locations include the Hainer Public Library District in Alton, which is open during library hours, the Salvation Army as well, which offers snacks and meals weekdays. Alton's overnight warming location at Deliverance Temple provides beds and meals from 5 p.m. to 8:30 a.m., and Edwardsville's Public Library and Main Street Community Center also serve as warming centers alongside various libraries in Bethalto, Collinsville, and East Alton. Community members are encouraged to verify the availability of these centers, especially during inclement weather. And that's a look at what's happening around the Riverbend this morning at 10:07. Let's take a look at weather, even though I don't want to. It's just darn cold. It is 11 degrees, and it doesn't feel like it. Feels like 7 out there. Today, bitterly cold with a chance of some sun, then turning cloudy. A flurry later this afternoon, and untreated surfaces will be slippery. Tonight, bitterly cold with clearing. Extended time outside can lead to hypothermia, and unprotected pipes may freeze. So if you have one of those sinks that's exposed to an outside wall, man, I'd leave that sucker drip and avoid any issues. Tonight, you can see temperatures drop to about -2 as we head into Thursday, and we're only going to see temperatures rise about 3 more degrees to about 14 to 15 today with that chance of an afternoon flurry. As I said, temperatures drop to -2 as we head into Thursday, and on Thursday, a high of 18 degrees and a low of 0. On Friday, a high of 23, a low of 13 degrees. On Saturday, the 22nd, a high of 38, a low of 22, and on Sunday, partly sunny skies, a high of 52 degrees and a low of 34. That's a look at the next 5 days, and here is what's happening now. It's 10:08. It's 11 degrees. It's brutal out there. Stay inside if you can for time and temperature throughout the day. 618-465-4545. This time powered by Bounce Back, Rehab Recover, and Return Home. While I have you, you should have just stayed inside with your friends at Village Dispensary all day. It is a Wednesday, and it means it's time to get waxy over there. Hey, you're going to save big on concentrates and vape brands today. 30% off disposables and 1 gram cartridges right there at Village Dispensary. Why would you not? It's going to be -2 by the time you get home, or by the time it's 10 o'clock, it's going to feel like -10 out there. By the time you get home from work, it's going to be about 5 degrees. Why would you even bother? Just go to Village Dispensary. Take a half a day, go home, turn on the news, maybe watch some Judge Judy, hit your dab pen, and then you have a good old afternoon. You know, it doesn't it doesn't just stop there. You know, Village Dispensary is a great community partner, and they mean so much to all the community with their outdoor markets and vendor opportunities for folks to come together and enjoy. Plus, they have those canned food drives, and they do other charitable drives throughout the course of the year, and they're just all about being a good partner. You know, over there at Village Dispensary, that's what they believe in, being a part of the village, because they know it takes one to make a community thrive, and they're all about being right here in the 618. You can go to villagedispo.com right now to order, and you'd see an inventory that would make Willie Nelson jealous, and you can stop in and make sure you tell them that CJ sent you over their way. That's villagedispo.com, villagedispensary.com, and don't just take my word for it, take it from Lionel.
I wanna be high, so high. I wanna be free to know the things I do are right. I wanna be free, just me, oh man.
Get access to care for anyone, anywhere, at any time. No appointments, no waiting rooms, no traveling. OSF on call.
Village Dispensary has the best deals in Godfrey, Illinois, with specials 5 days a week. Mondays, roll in the week with 20 to 30% off select pre-rolls. Tasty Tuesdays, enjoy 20 to 30% off select edibles. Waxy Wednesdays, enjoy 20 to 30% off select concentrate and vape brands. Thirsty Thursdays, sip and save with 20 to 30% off all drinks. Flower Friday, grab like 3.5 gram flower deals starting at just $20. Village Dispensary, come meet your best buds.
Picture This and More has been a trusted name in the Alton community for more than 30 years, with the last 3 being right here on Broadway. We specialize in quality framing at affordable prices. We also feature works by local artists because we're proud of our community. If you have valued treasures to display and preserve, we're sure to have the perfect fit with our large selection of custom framing and display options. Whatever color, shape, or size, Picture This and More has the look you need. Stop by today and let us help you with your next project.
Looking for the best barbecue in Madison County? Head over to Carver's Barbecue in Godfrey, Illinois. From loaded barbecue nachos to mouth-watering pulled pork, brisket, ribs, and more, Carver's serves up award-winning flavors you'll love. Family-owned, Carver's is all about fresh, made in-house dishes served daily. Come visit us at 2716 Groveland in Godfrey, or give us a call at 618-467-9999. Order online, get it catered, or stop by for the best smoked meats around. Where great flavors meet family tradition, you'll find Carver's Barbecue.
You're listening to Our Daily Show with CJ Nasello on RiverBender.com. CJ Nasello on RiverBender.com.
I'll be over the edge now in no time at all. I'm falling faster and faster and faster with no time to stall.
Welcome back. Daily Show hitting you in the nose at 10:41 on this Tuesday morning. It is the 18th day of February. Eric Robinson in studio. Coming up on February the 20th in just 2 days, the Underground Railroad tours at Lewis and Clark Community
That's
College.
correct.
How are we doing today, sir?
Well, like my grandfather said, days like today make Robinsons wish that we were in Arizona watching the pitchers and catchers work out with the Dodgers.
That's a great point. I was thinking the same thing myself, but in Jupiter.
The streets are not that bad. You just have to remember what Larry Reed taught you. Larry Reed and the boys, and we call them boys, and driver's ed taught you. In weather like this, drive defensively, drive below the speed limit, and keep at least 3 vehicles length between you and the car ahead of you, and you'll be fine.
Yeah,
pay attention.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
But, one of those days, too, where, some people decided to hang out at home and get some stuff done. Some people are out.
I tell you, the streets aren't that bad. You can only do so much with an inch of snow.
Oh, and the dry snow, too. I mean, that powder just packs down.
Yeah, it does. And when you get an inch, there's no point doing anything with it, because even if you do something with it, there's still going to be some there. And so most people have taken that as a clue to just stay in, but I, like a damn fool, left Upper Alton and came down here. People were driving by looking at me, wonder what the hell is wrong with that man. You know that he is light, but he was really light, and I could have walked I like walking in the middle of the street, and on a day like today, I could have walked in the middle of the street, and nobody would have challenged, not a person would have challenged me.
No.
Nobody was out at all, and it wasn't bad. This is like Washington, D.C. Washington, D.C. is like this. They get a millimeter of snow, and it shuts the city down. And you get this weather like this, and nobody's coming out at all.
What's funny is you said right, because I kept telling people, even no matter what type of snow we're getting, Tuesday morning's gonna be fine. We'll make it work. Yeah. Now Tuesday afternoon, whatever, I can see getting a couple inches. You go home early.
Yeah.
But we'll find out where the line hits. We still got a few hours to tell. But you're right. Everybody just settles on down, and they call it a snow day at about a half an inch of a dusting of snow.
Well, it reminds me, it was winter of 2000. I was teaching at Lewis and Clark, and it was in January, and they were predicting Snowmageddon. Mrs. Snook had the best day of her life because people came and bought her out Big time. And here we are. Lewis and Clark got scared, and they called off early. They said on Friday we're going to be closed. Well, they were saying 8 o'clock. We're going to get about 10 inches. We're going to get about 10 inches. We're going to get about 10 inches. 12 o'clock, we're going to get about 12 inches. We're going to get about 12 inches. We're going to get about 12 inches. 3 o'clock, we're going to get about 12 inches. About 12 inches. At 5 o'clock, they called it off. It's 40 degrees and dry. And the next January, we had an ice storm hit. I remember the date. It was the day the anniversary of my father's death. We had an ice storm hit. No, my surgery was the anniversary day. It was on the 17th. An ice storm hit, and they didn't call off school. They didn't call off anything. And I, like a damn fool, I was living up on West 4th Street. And I, like a damn fool, I was bound and determined to get to class. And it's first week of the semester, I was bound and determined to get to class. And it was about 32 degrees, comfortable, not bad. So I loaded my car, the ice there. I said, well, it's just a little ice. I could handle that. Ice was there. I loaded my car. I was driving back then. I went back to my apartment because I forgot a book. And when I did that, I slipped and fell on the ice and broke my leg.
Oh my goodness!
And so I was out for 6 weeks.
Whoa!
I was out for 6 weeks. But I suppose Lewis and Clark said they weren't going to be fooled a second time. They're not canceling class.
Well, I should have canceled class then.
They should have canceled. Yeah.
That happened to me when I was in middle school. It was like 12 degrees. It was 2013 when the Arctic blast came in, and it was negative 12. And then there was like 6 inches of snow, and no one called off school around because Edwardsville didn't call off. And all of a sudden, the next day, everyone's riding the superintendent up. This is 2 superintendents ago, by the way, or 3 superintendents ago. And man, we were off for 5 days in a row after that. It was almost like they felt like they needed to make up for a few of those.
They make up for that real fast.
That was pain and suffering,
They make
money.
up for real fast. But when you talk about the Underground Railroad, this is the type of weather where somebody would probably plan to escape. And
Really?
yeah, it's in winter, because typically what happened was the slaves who escaped to the Underground Railroad through Alton came originally from the slave markets in downtown St. Louis. They were typically brought there from Maryland, Delaware, and Kentucky, and they were going to be sold to planters who would take them down to Louisiana, and that was a several months process. Mm-hmm. It was the first part of the year, and usually the planters down in Louisiana and Mississippi, they needed people not for cultivation, but they needed them for harvesting. Yeah. Because the harvesting of sugar was very labor intensive and very costly. You could get scalded. I mean, anybody who bakes understands very well that it's easy to get scalded with sugar.
Oh, 100%, yeah.
And this was sugar water they were using, and it was high boiling amount. They were using cane knives that could easily decapitate and dismember. And so the planters during the harvesting of cane went through a lot of people. Yeah. And so they needed a lot of people to replace them. Sometimes they got that through workers who came from, who were in cotton plantations. They'd be sent down to sugar plantations to harvest sugar and then brought back up to harvest the cotton. Mm-hmm. But but they would come up to St. Louis. And we talk about baseball, but if you go to where the St. Louis Arch is, and the St. Louis Busch Stadium, I still call it the new Busch Stadium. But if you go there to downtown St. Louis, that was where the slave traders were. Wow. And the planters would come up. Sometimes we get them in Memphis. Memphis was designed as a trader's point, but they'd sometimes come up to St. Louis. And not only did you have people who were trading slaves from the upper part of the South, you also had Missourians selling slaves, because Missourians had to. The personal property tax was tax on property in your household. And that was a head tax. It was a poll tax.
Whoa.
A tax on your slaves.
Okay.
And so if you had slaves, that was an easy way to pay your tax. Now, you gave your age, kind of, and I think you're, 25?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. At the age of 25, your price would go up as opposed to somebody like myself, and at the age of 59, my price would not be very much higher.
Mm-hmm.
If you're somebody like Jared Henning, who's almost 80, I'm not going to give Jared's age. Jared is almost 80. You couldn't sell him at all. He has these little skinny little yellow legs.
Jared's almost 80?
Yes, he is. Didn't you know that?
No way.
Have you ever seen Jared without his teeth?
No, stop.
Well, that's a reason for you to come to the Underground Road Court, Lewis and Clark, because we get Jared to take out his teeth.
No.
Yeah, and he shows his age.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. You should see Jared when he's not on camera.
Oh, no, I never have asked.
You should see him when he doesn't have makeup.
Stop.
Jared looks slight different when he doesn't have makeup. He has these wrinkles, and he gets these false teeth out. He's got these little skinny little bird legs like this. That kind of knock knee. And when we were in Fences together, I was on stage with him. I was doing my performance, and I could hear this knocking going on, and it was Jared's knock knees and his teeth. I can't kid. He was almost 60 then. But at any rate, what you would do, and Jared better not be texting you. Jared better not be texting you. But if you are, the slaves who are most valuable were the slaves who are in childbearing age, especially if they were female. Do you need to stop?
No. We're fine for right now. We'll take a pause.
And at 25, if you were female, your price would be the most.
Because of your bearing of children.
Because you can bear children. Actually, you'd be at peak age. And peak age started when you hit puberty. So that was when...
Would that be around the age of like 11 or 12? I mean, I hate to say that, but I mean, for puberty...
12.
Wow.
About 12.
Wow.
Yeah. About 12. It was not uncommon for women, for females to start bearing children at 12 and 13. Yeah. And they would bear until they were no longer fertile, which theoretically would be until they're in their 40s.
Wow.
And that's why you get somebody like Sojourner Truth saying, I bore 17 children and never one of them sold away. She started young and it concluded at an older age.
So, I mean, it really does bring in perspective, though. I mean, it really does to what, it's not even just dependent on, the person, but just the ages and just...
The age is rather interesting.
And it's a weird way to say it, but I don't know what proper term to... It's almost like this awful lottery where it's, if you're... if unfortunately you're of, that age, it's, I mean, there's not much else. I mean, you're kind of just there.
You're there. And remember, in that time period, there's no such thing as consent.
Right.
I'll put it like that.
Right. You're 100%
right. If your ancestors, for example, I knew some Nasellos were bricklayers.
Mm-hmm.
And if your ancestors in Italy had somebody who worked in their household, or they were working in someone's household in northern Italy, that person in that household could demand certain favors. It's a sad fact about ballet in Russia.
Yeah.
That the ballerinas in Russia were serfs, provided sexual favors to the lords there.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, and it's one of those things, though, where we don't get that in history class. You
don't. That's one thing that people always say when I do my tours. They didn't talk about this in history. No, we don't. We give you the polished apple without the worm.
Because that's something that, I mean, honestly, is the more that I, kind of read up on just certain individuals, you realize, I mean, there was so much more than, that meets the eye than what we were told. It's from, the sex trafficking and sexual assaults to the child trafficking that was going on through this. And you realize, I mean, you had to be the strongest of the strong to survive.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's just really incredible. Do you have a moment to stick around so I can pay a bill?
Yeah, I do.
I got to pay a quick bill here. Last bill of the day, and it belongs to, our great sponsors. Make sure you stop by and thank them as they keep me on the air and in a job at 10:53 on this Tuesday morning. More Daily Show next.
Hey, would you drop by the pharmacy? My doctor switched my cholesterol medication.
Yeah, will do, honey.
I'm glad he's looking out for you.
OSF Healthcare can handle all of your family's primary care needs, including managing chronic conditions. Schedule an appointment today.
What are you doing?
We did our home insurance ourselves, but don't feel protected.
So you're building your own American Family Insurance roof line?
Yeah, life's better when you're protected under American Family's roof.
That's not how it works.
Dad, we'll go. It's gonna hit.
See, that's how it works.
For real protection, save up to 23% by bundling your home and auto with us.
With over 20 years of experience, Wilson's Tree Service has the expertise to handle all of your tree care needs. Licensed and fully insured, their team of experts are dedicated to providing reliable service. Plus, with a 24-hour emergency service line, Wilson's will always be there for you. Don't risk tackling that timber by yourself. Trust the local professionals at Wilson's Tree Service. Visit treeservicealtonil.org to get started today.
No matter the season, Play It Again Sports in Edwardsville has the gear the athletes need to get in the game. Whether you're shopping for the newest sports equipment or saving money on quality used gear, Play It Again Sports carries what you need to maximize performance to get the most out of every swing, kick, stroke, or shot. We'll even buy your used goods, paying cash on the spot. We carry all the gear for all the sports all year long. We're your hometown sporting goods store. Play It Again Sports, conveniently located at 4 Club Center Court in Edwardsville. Picture This and More has been a trusted name in the Alton community for more than 30 years, with the last 3 being right here on Broadway. We specialize in quality framing at affordable prices. We also feature works by local artists because we're proud of our community. If you have valued treasures to display and preserve, we're sure to have the perfect fit with our large selection of custom framing and display options. Whatever color, shape, or size, Picture This and More has the look you need. Stop by today and let us help you with your next project.
Village Dispensary has the best deals in Godfrey, Illinois with specials 5 days a week. Mondays, roll in the week with 20 to 30% off select pre-rolls. Tasty Tuesdays, enjoy 20 to 30% off select edibles. Waxy Wednesdays, enjoy 20 to 30% off select concentrate and vape brands. Thirsty Thursdays, sip and save with 20 to 30% off all drinks. Flower Friday, grab like 3.5 gram flower deals starting at just $20. Village Dispensary, come meet your best buds.
You're listening to Our Daily Show with CJ Nasello on RiverBender.com.
So let's leave it alone, 'cause we can't see.
The time is 10:56 on this 18th day of February. It is a Tuesday morning in downtown Alton. We're coming back with Eric Robinson, and we're talking about the Underground Railroad tours, which are set on February the 20th. What time do they start?
This is an afternoon tour, 1 to 3. The weather's not an issue.
Mm-hmm.
This is actually perfect touring weather. We're not going to get out of the bus. And the motor vehicle, the vehicle we're going to use, will be large enough and comfortable enough for people.
Really cool. And
the only problem that you have on a tour really is if the sun is bright and shining and
because it's
a lot of
hitting
glass.
it.
Yeah, that's kind of difficult.
Now, how many spots do you guys go through?
Oh, it depends. I don't mention that at the beginning because I like to hear Jared's knees and all. And I like his reaction when I tell him when he finds out where we're going to go. But we're going to talk about issues as far as my research.
Okay.
As in the Underground Railroad. Now, you said your name is Nasello, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. I knew 2 great groups of Nasellos. I knew the sons of Charlie Nasello at high school, and I knew the son and daughter of Pete Nasello. So which one are you?
Charlie.
You're Charlie. Okay. You're Charlie and Carol's grandson. Okay. Are you sure?
I'm almost. I mean, I guess I can't be
because you look more like Pete.
Yeah.
You look like Pete's side. You look like Pete and side.
Well, you're gonna laugh at that.
Well, the funny thing about it is that we go back a bit because my mother worked at the state hospital with your grandmother.
Oh, really unique.
And so
okay.
I remember when your aunt was born.
Yep.
I was in school with I was in school with all of them, but Tim and I were in class together.
Really
Uncle
cool.
Tim. And I, for one, know why your father almost didn't graduate from high school.
Oh no, not the Redbird.
The Redbird. Not the Redbird. A lot of people. I used to tell everybody. And when I taught at Lewis and Clark, we shared nursing students. And so they would come in and ask, "Is this true?" And he said, "Oh, you had Robbins." But at any rate, the only thing we have to base that on is your word.
True.
So one thing that is true about people who escaped, they did not have ID.
That's a good.
They did not have birth certificates. Did not become a feature in American society until 1939 with the Social Security Act. Mm-hmm. I could say I was whomever,
right,
and people would believe it.
Right.
I can come here and say I'm not Joyce and Preston Robinson's son, but instead I am the son of Nora and Essex Robinson. And the only people that know the truth about it, were the descendants of those families.
Right.
My brothers and Essex and Nora's daughters, and Essex's daughter, Crystal. They would know the truth, but nobody else would.
Right.
One of the things that happened with people who escaped as escaped slaves was that they, when they came to a place, they were often absorbed into families.
Yeah.
And those families helped protect them. Alan Pinkerton, for example, did that at his barrel making shop in Dundee, Illinois. And you have stories about people in Wood Station doing that. Well, that's some of the things that we cover.
Let me ask you this, though. Because you bring up I've never thought about this before, but you're right. You have no identity whenever you're, doing, you really don't. You can. Did that affect them? Do you have any research on what that did and affected the mentality and the mental? Because to me, you have no identity.
I can talk about my own family.
Okay.
Because there was my paternal grandfather's maternal grandfather.
Okay.
Had the name D.R. Ellington. He was an Ellington. D.R. Ellington. Everybody called him DR. They thought it meant Dr. Redman, or he said it was. Mm-hmm. And you get to detail, and he came to Edwardsville. He lived in Cass. He was one of the first Negro property owners in the city of Edwardsville proper on Cass Street. That house stayed in the family until Aunt Mally died in the in the 1990s. But D.R. Ellington had been a slave somewhere. It was anywhere from Georgia, Mississippi, Alabama, Louisiana, and it just changed it place to place.
Right.
Well, until he showed up and married Mary Owens, my paternal grandfather's maternal grandmother. There's no record of him.
That's incredible.
They're very much like, say, you hear the story rather frequently. Rick Fasten, who is a gentleman, would talk about this. That people would come from the old country.
Yeah.
And they would encounter anti-Irish, anti-Italian prejudice. And they'd anglicize their name, or they'd come across and they encounter anti-Semitic prejudice, anti-Irish prejudice. And they change their name, or they're like the Cowsleys. Cowsleys were Irish Catholic.
Mm-hmm.
But when they came to Illinois, they became Presbyterians.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Because Presbyterians had less prejudice than Irish Catholics.
This is so fascinating.
And so this or we see it today. I had a student who had the name KC, K.C. That was her first name. And I asked her about it, and she said her mother gave her that name to avoid sexist prejudice.
Wow.
Well, what you did when you were escaped slave, you changed your name to avoid being captured.
Right.
So what the slaveholder would have was a series of aliases and series of names if they wanted to find the slave. It was a matter of trying to outwit the slave in picking the name.
So it really was. This was a battle of wits and everything else.
Battle of wits and everything else, and you had something like, how much time do I have?
Whatever you want.
Oh,
this is great.
Whatever. Oh, my goodness. I can talk for 16 weeks.
Fair point. We got about till 11:10.
Okay. You talked to Jared, and he said time limit. Okay. You see this? You see this, ladies and gentlemen? This is a Schnucks receipt. You got the coupons. Are they sponsors? No, they're not sponsors, but they're coupons. Okay. You understand? This has no value.
No.
At least it has no value unless I decide to take something back.
Right.
That's how it has value, but no other value.
Right.
If you were 25, and I'll point this out, the Nasello, or not so much your dad, but Tim. Tim looked young.
Yeah.
Tim looked young.
Absolutely.
And Tim and I were two of the shorter people in our class. And we both looked young. And even when Tim grew his mustache after he got out of the Navy, he looked young. And you know, I know Tim was ID'd, and I had to be ID'd because I smoked a pipe. I smoked a pipe too. But at any rate, that ID is very valuable. Correct. You say who your age is.
Yep.
I know when Tim joined the Navy, he had to prove his age.
Right.
He had to have a birth certificate.
Right.
Well, your birth certificate is an official document. Your ID is an official document. Your driver's license is an official document. If you say are ham radio operator, you have an ID. That's an official document. Your FOID is an official document. It doesn't belong to you. It belongs to whoever issues it. So that whoever asks for it, you have to present it.
Right.
And you can't destroy it. This, however, if you were, let me put it like this. If you were a slave, if you're a freed Negro in Illinois, a document like this, a receipt from this county saying you posted a bond of $500, which is equal to 1 year's income, it's not transferable. So if you go from Madison County to Macoupin County, you need a new bond. And you needed it if you were of age. So the good thing about you is you're 25.
Yeah.
That means that if you start looking like an adult, you would need one of these.
I get what you're saying because it goes back to that identity, right? Because some people could have been 30 that looked 21 or 18 or 17.
21 or 18. I looked when I taught middle school. The 7th graders thought I was an 8th grader. I had a master's degree and I worked at Lehman Brothers. That they thought I was a 7th grader, 8th grader. And they always commented my dad smoked a good pipe. But at any rate, this document had to be presented at all times.
Yeah.
And this is what can happen. You gave me this document. Boom. You gave me this document. I just teared it up like this.
Oh my God.
And I would do one of these numbers. I'd get up, grab a hold of you, say I'm selling you.
Oh my.
And yeah, word up, baby.
Was that pretty prevalent in this area? I mean,
it was prevalent enough.
So,
and you see it in the population behaviors of Negroes in the Alton area. Only 4 cities in Illinois had a population in town of 100 or more Negroes. They were Jacksonville, Quincy, Springfield, and Alton. Most Negroes lived outside of town, and the place where Negroes lived was primarily in Hunterstown, the area between Ridge Street and Alton City Cemetery above Broadway. Mm-hmm. That was Hunterstown. And they were protected by Charles Hunter, who was an innkeeper. And it was always integrated. I'm going to make a blind guess in saying that your family were associated with St. Patrick's Church at one time.
Could have been, maybe.
Yeah, because that had a large Italian population.
They were at St. Mary's, a lot of it.
Yeah,
it was St. Mary, because they grew up on McClure Street. I knew that.
Well, that parish included McClure Street.
Yeah.
And so, but at any rate, that's the area. St. Patrick's is the area of Hunterstown, and Hunter protected populations that were there. But most Alton's Negroes lived outside of town. We lived in along Oakwood and Salu. We lived in Wood Station and Fosterburg. We lived in Rocky Fork. And they're talking about a couple hundred in each of those.
Wow.
And it was a matter of living in rural areas where you're safe. Where honestly, you were around family members.
Yeah.
Who could protect you. And that's why it's important for me to say, hey, I knew this about your grandparents.
Right.
I knew who Charlie. I knew what Charlie Nasello did with soccer. Yeah. I knew that. I know who your cousin Pete Nasello is. Yeah. I know that. Okay.
I get what you're saying.
And say, well, I know who Joyce Robinson is. I know this. I know this person.
I get that. Yeah.
And so saying that you know somebody actually had greater currency than the piece of paper. Because if somebody came here to take you away and saying, this is not CJ Nasello.
Right.
Rather, this is the nefarious, the great, nefarious Irish so-and-so.
Right.
And I'm going to take him in. I can say, wait a minute, I know him. You know me, I know him. He's accurate. And that was true about when you talk about people who are escaped slaves or free blacks who are caught and kidnapped or threatened to be kidnapped by slave traders because, again, there were no identity papers.
Oh, my goodness. This is so fascinating.
Yeah.
I mean, it really is. And it's so fascinating, too, because to me, this is where I find it unique. And I'm sure it was different because you've done the research. It's just my perception, just listening to this, is we have today social media and all these really up-to-date newspapers that are even, printing every evening and morning or printing around the clock. And back then, I mean, you had to rest on your morals based on really what you and your immediate society around you was resting on.
Yeah, well, that's what people meant was the community is very important. That's why sociologists made that statement.
This is such a we're out of time today, but I
could talk about the Klan in Upper Alton. They actually played a role.
Did they really?
Yeah, well, the Klan used to protect certain people in the saloon neighborhood.
Really?
From the boys of Western Military Academy.
Why so?
Well, because the Klan did not want everybody to know they had girlfriends.
Oh, no. Oh, no. Okay, so let's do this.
But you didn't hear that from me.
No, but let's do this real quick. So let's talk about the tour again.
The tour is Thursday, February the 20th from 1 to 3 p.m. at Lewis and Clark Community College. You need to call Jared Henning at Lewis and Clark Community College. And if I remember Jared's number, it's 618-468-6400 to make a reservation. And he'll give you the details. It's a free tour paid for by your tax dollars, but you get the great benefit of seeing Jared without makeup.
And no teeth.
You think he's funny without hair? You should see him without teeth.
Well, Eric, if you ever have time to come back on and talk about this more, I'd love to have you, because we could talk about this for 2 hours.
Like I said, I can... Tim and Greg both... I shouldn't say Greg, that's your dad. Tim, Greg, and... Pete and Sherry all know I can get started and I can finish.
Well, let me give you a call sometime in the next couple of weeks and let's have an extended conversation about this. I find it so fascinating, and thank you again for your time. Are you going to give
me 2 hours?
Oh, I'll give you I'll give you an hour. Can we do an hour?
I can't say anything in an hour. Ask your grandmother about Robinson.
Did you drop by the pharmacy? My doctor switched my cholesterol medication.
Yeah, will do, honey. I'm glad he's looking out for you.
OSF Healthcare can handle all of your family's primary care needs, including managing chronic conditions. Schedule an appointment today.
What are you doing?
We did our home insurance ourselves, but don't feel protected.
So you're building your own American Family Insurance roof line?
Yeah, life's better when you're protected under American Family's roof.
That's not how it works.
Dad, we'll go. It's gonna hit.
See, that's how it works.
For real protection, save up to 23% by bundling your home and auto with us.
With over 20 years of experience, Wilson's Tree Service has the expertise to handle all of your tree care needs. Licensed and fully insured, their team of experts are dedicated to providing reliable service. Plus, with a 24-hour emergency service line, Wilson's will always be there for you. Don't risk tackling that timber by yourself. Trust the local professionals at Wilson's Tree Service. Visit treeservicealtonil.org to get started today.
No matter the season, Play It Again Sports in Edwardsville has the gear the athletes need to get in the game. Whether you're shopping for the newest sports equipment or saving money on quality used gear, Play It Again Sports carries what you need to maximize performance to get the most out of every swing, kick, stroke, or shot. We'll even buy your used goods, paying cash on the spot. We carry all the gear for all the sports all year long. We're your hometown sporting goods store. Play It Again Sports, conveniently located at 4 Club Center Court in Edwardsville. Picture This and More has been a trusted name in the Alton community for more than 30 years, with the last 3 being right here on Broadway. We specialize in quality framing at affordable prices. We also feature works by local artists because we're proud of our community. If you have valued treasures to display and preserve, we're sure to have the perfect fit with our large selection of custom framing and display options. Whatever color, shape, or size, Picture This and More has the look you need. Stop by today and let us help you with your next project.
Village Dispensary has the best deals in Godfrey, Illinois with specials 5 days a week. Mondays, roll in the week with 20 to 30% off select pre-rolls. Tasty Tuesdays, enjoy 20 to 30% off select edibles. Waxy Wednesdays, enjoy 20 to 30% off select concentrate and vape brands. Thirsty Thursdays, sip and save with 20 to 30% off all drinks. Flower Friday, grab select 3.5 gram flower deals starting at just $20. Village Dispensary, come meet your best buds.
You're listening to Our Daily Show with CJ Nasello on RiverBender.com. RiverBender.com.
Fish in the sea, I'm singing, follow me, everything is alright. I'll be the one.
Welcome back to Our Daily Show on this Monday morning, and familiar face friends of the show at this point. How are we doing, Amoria and Angela?
Great.
Well, man, you know what I think's happening to me? I think it's a later in the day Friday, and I'm falling asleep on you. So I need your energy, Amoria. So how's everything been since the last time we talked?
It's been great.
Has it? And now we have a brand spanking new plushie doll. How is it? How does it feel having a doll made after you?
It feels great, and I love my doll.
Well, and speaking of that, it's been a busy year for you guys all the way around.
Yes, it has.
So I kind of am a little jealous, if it's okay to say, because, well, I have never in my life had somebody in the studio that reaches more people per day than I do. And that's you, Amoria. Look at that billboard. Have you gotten a chance to see it in person yet?
Yes. We went the other night and stayed out in the freezing cold for an hour because it's several kids.
Slots, yeah.
And you have to wait around, but it was worth it.
What did it feel like to see yourself on a billboard?
It felt great, and I liked being on the billboard because everyone could see me.
Yeah. Well, and you worked so hard to get there, too. And that's what I think is really important, that you, your mom, your dad, your whole family, you put all this effort in, and it's being rewarded. That's awesome.
Thank you.
Yes. We blindfolded her.
No way.
And so she didn't know what was going on, and then we had her take the blindfold off.
And, as the supporting parent in this and, driving, and getting these things done and having that drive too, what's that moment like when you get to take a moment with the family and see that?
It was so exciting. I think I was more excited than her.
Well, that's because Amoria's right to business, We got more things to do.
Yeah. And she was just stunned. She was just standing there like, wow, is that me?
Well, and now this is celebrating young African-American entrepreneurs. Yes. And take me through kind of how Amoria was selected, how you all were selected for this.
This is through Ariel Biggs. She's the founder of YPK Kids in St. Louis, and it's also all over the country.
Really cool.
Yes, and so she called and said, we're at the Outfront Media. Mm-hmm. They're doing billboards, and so we want to put Amoria on there. I was like, oh, that's great. It's so exciting. Yeah, so we're in their little program, their program for entrepreneurs. Amoria is in there. She's been in there for 3 years.
What have you liked the program?
Yes.
Really cool. What have you learned in the program?
Well, I learned in the program to be confident and always believe in yourself.
There's nothing much better to learn right there.
Right.
Well, and I want to get in right into this plushie, which is beautiful. I don't know if you guys can see. We'll put a close-up on it on the screen here shortly, but this is 8 months in the making.
Yes.
And what I think so inspiring really about this is you guys are a local family doing this on your own and succeeding in it.
Thank you.
For the folks that maybe don't know and they just see the box or they pick one up at the vendor fair or online, and we'll get to the website here, take me through the work and just what it looks like to get something like this out for the public to be a part of.
Yes, it was a journey. It all started, we went to Target. And she wanted a plushie that looked like her, and we couldn't find one. And she asked, well, can we make our own? I said, sure. And I didn't know what the heck I was doing. I was like, yeah, you don't want to tell your kids no.
Right.
But, you want to make them think that you know what you're doing. So I just researched and just looked around and some other authors who had plushies and just got some different quotes. And I went through Abaca it's a Chinese company. And I went through them and talked to different vendors and just emailed back and forth and found a vendor that I liked, and the rest is history.
Well, there you can see one of those photos of them. Look at that.
This is by Graveman Photography.
Really cool. Are they local?
Yes, it's in East Alton.
Really cool. Glad that we could throw that plug out there for them, too. And, with that being said, I think this is so cool. It's $20 for this. It's a reusable decorated box, which I think is really cool. Is there some messaging behind the way the box looks?
Yes, it has her on the side. It has her picture and her picture and her book.
This is awesome.
Thank you. And then a little message.
Well, and this is what I think is cool. From Amoria's Magic Afro Puff, she has big, round, and fluffy Afro Puff, self-love and confidence. Amoria is cute, sweet, and easy to snuggle with at night. Is it comfortable?
Yes.
Well, and I think this is just so cool because it shows, it really shows that no matter how old you are or how much experience you have in something, we live in this world of technology where if you want it, you can achieve it.
Yes.
And, with all that said and done, it took a couple of, additions to this doll.
Yes.
How, when you're looking at this, what were some of the things that you saw in the first couple? Because I know that you said Amoria loved it and it was ready to go.
Yes.
But, when you're going through product control, what did you see in it that you didn't like?
Like the eyes. The first, like this one, we love. Mm-hmm. I love this one.
Oh, it's beautiful, yeah.
But the first one, like the eye, it looks scary. It looked like a scary monster or something. And Amoria loved it. She loved it. She's like, yeah, will you sell that one? I'm like, no.
I got to look at that if I walk into the room, you know?
I was like, ah. So, but she loved it. But you still like it, don't you?
Do you still like it? Yeah. Really cool. And, but you know what I think is cool, though, is because sometimes when we get the first one, our brain's going, oh, that's perfect.
Yeah.
But whenever you want something perfected, you got to take time on these things.
Yes, you do. And we weren't in any rush or anything. And we also have family and friends, I asked for their feedback.
That's important.
And so,
Well, and take me through, Amoria, what you like about this doll. Is there some features on it that you want to showcase?
Well, what I like about the doll is that she's cute and she wears a pink ballerina dress.
Oh, that is cool. Well, I love the bows, too. That's what I think's really cool.
Yeah.
Are they bows or barrettes?
Oh, bows. They're stitched in. Yeah.
Oh, really cool.
And it was supposed to be like her, like she has her little pink tutu on. So Amoria wears her little tutu. So, and she normally has bows, but we were rushing.
I don't blame you. Well, and have you had your friends pick up an Amoria plushie yet?
Not yet.
Not yet, but
we're getting there.
We're getting there. Yeah, we told their mothers about it, though.
Well, and with that being said, take me to the website again. What's the name of your website?
It's www.amoriah.love.com.
Look at that. That's simple. I will take you right here and I will show you how to get your hands on one. You go right there to the website. Look how quick that was. I'm telling you, we're moving today.
Yeah, and go under shop.
Oh, right here?
Yes.
We'll click on shop.
And there it is.
And we'll take it right there. Quick view. We'll click on it. And for $20, add to cart, you are good to go. And you can pay by PayPal or pay later. And I think that's really great, too.
Yes.
I love it. I just love every bit of this. And also, a coloring book's included with this.
Yes.
Have you had a chance to try out the coloring book?
Yes.
What are your thoughts?
I like it.
Do you? Is there a favorite picture in there that you like to color?
It's where like snuggle in the bed with a stuffed animal.
Really cool. I love it. Do you guys have a moment to stick around?
Yeah.
We're already 10 minutes into this interview. We're flying today.
Yeah.
And Amoria, I'm just really glad to see everything. You know, you all are still working so hard.
Yes.
And that's what I think's really inspiring. Even for somebody like me that's, middle of my mid-20s, it doesn't matter how young or how old. If you want it, you can do it. And we'll take a quick break. We'll come back with more Daily Show right after this in the heart of the 618.
Hey, would you drop by the pharmacy? My doctor switched my cholesterol medication.
Yeah, will do, honey. I'm glad he's looking out for you.
OSF Healthcare can handle all of your family's primary care needs, including managing chronic conditions. Schedule an appointment today.
Life's better when you're under the American Family Insurance roof because they know your house is home base for their dreams. Whether it's a kid like me aiming for the big leagues, ready? Future rocket scientist, we have this or a budding prima ballerina. When you feel totally protected, your family's free to pursue their dreams. She's good.
Let's go.
American Family Insurance.
With over 20 years of experience, Wilson's Tree Service has the expertise to handle all of your tree care needs. Licensed and fully insured, their team of experts are dedicated to providing reliable service. Plus, with a 24-hour emergency service line, Wilson's will always be there for you. Don't risk tackling that timber by yourself. Trust the local professionals at Wilson's Tree Service. Visit treeservicealtonil.org to get started today.
No matter the season, Play It Again Sports in Edwardsville has the gear the athletes need to get in the game. Whether you're shopping for the newest sports equipment or saving money on quality used gear, Play It Again Sports carries what you need to maximize performance to get the most out of every swing, kick, stroke, or shot. We'll even buy your used goods, paying cash on the spot. We carry all the gear for all the sports all year long. We're your hometown sporting goods store. Play It Again Sports, conveniently located at 4 Club Center Court in Edwardsville. Picture This and More has been a trusted name in the Alton community for more than 30 years, with the last 3 being right here on Broadway. We specialize in quality framing at affordable prices. We also feature works by local artists because we're proud of our community. If you have valued treasures to display and preserve, we're sure to have the perfect fit with our large selection of custom framing and display options. Whatever color, shape, or size, Picture This and More has the look you need. Stop by today and let us help you with your next project.
Village Dispensary has the best deals in Godfrey, Illinois with specials 5 days a week. Mondays, roll in the week with 20 to 30% off select pre-rolls. Tasty Tuesdays, enjoy 20 to 30% off select edibles. Waxy Wednesdays, enjoy 20 to 30% off select concentrate and vape brands. Thirsty Thursdays, sip and save with 20 to 30% off all drinks. Flower Friday, grab select 3.5 gram flower deals starting at just $20. Village Dispensary, come meet your best buds.
You're listening to Our Daily Show with CJ Nasello on RiverBender.com.
We talked plushies. Now, breaking news. A new book underway. This is cool, Amoria.
Thank you.
Breaking news. I have seen the rough draft, and that actually got me excited because I love seeing the finished product. I've always been one of those guys that thinks it's nice. But what I find so cool is to see things before they're made. And just to see, Amoria, what your thoughts are and what this book's going to be about. Can we kind of tease a little bit about what it's going to be about?
Sure.
Take me to it, Amoria. What are we writing about?
So I'm writing about me and my flamingo's adventures, and her name is Fia.
I love it. And, what do you hope the people that read your book, this new one, what do you hope they take away from your book?
What I hope that they take away from my book is helping them feel better if they're if they need like a helping hand, and they could always use an imaginary friend.
That's really cool. And what I think so unique about this, and kind of getting into not too much of a serious side, is but there's so many kids out there that are struggling. Yeah. And whether or not it's from, home life or just external things, maybe some internal. Yeah. Whenever you have someone, especially local, that's writing about something that, especially like you said with your flamingo, getting you through, and we were going to leave that for you to read because we need you to get the book. It helps so many kids, I think, going, wow, Amoria went through struggles too. I can do it, and that's where the inspiration comes in. Yes. Now, did you know the topic whenever she started writing it?
Well, I knew she wanted to talk about one of her imaginary friends. I just didn't know which one she was going to, but she mainly had the flamingo. Really about cool. Our flamingo, yes.
Well, and take me through that, because I think that's so important to be supportive, of all of it. And what were you able to kind of see as Amoria starts writing this?
Well, she this how much she talks about her flamingo, and I think she has a turtle in her hand right now. No. You don't? Oh, okay. She normally has little figurines, or turtle or something, or a Barbie with her to help her get through. So we went through a difficult situation last year. I was sick last year, and so the flamingo helped her get through it.
Is it is it tough for you in any way to kind of tell? I mean, because you're still talking about a tough time in a different way. Is it tough at all for you to go through, or is it?
Oh no, not on the other side. Yeah. But yes, it's comforting to know that the flamingo helped her get through it.
Did you know truly the magnitude of the flamingo? Whenever?
No, I didn't. I didn't. And she always had them with her, about 10 of them. Oh my gosh, she got all these flamingos everywhere. But they helped her to get through.
Cool.
Yeah.
Now, is the book, is the rough draft completed yet?
Not yet.
Not yet? So a little bit more progress to be made still?
Yeah.
When do you think you guys will have this one going?
Well, this is for the Young Authors program at our school. Okay. So it's due February 21st. So we're going to work on it again this weekend. I love it. So she's almost done with it.
And once it's done with that, are you going to print it?
I think so. I think we're going to print it and get it illustrated.
I would. I seriously, just reading it, because being a children's book, I'm not a connoisseur by any means, or I don't read a lot of them, but just the message in there. I think it's such a cool message, and really just a great story too.
Yes. Thank you.
No problem. Now, I got to ask you, how's school going right now?
It's going great.
Really cool. And man, we're almost here. Do you have a 3-day weekend this weekend or next weekend?
Next weekend.
Next weekend's President's Day, right?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
And then how much more? When do you get out for the summer? You're only a couple of months away from that. We're getting close.
Yeah. Like May?
Yeah.
May?
May the
28th.
Is that it? May 28th? Okay.
Well, she'll know.
Yeah. I don't keep up with it.
But you're what I think's cool though is you're 3 months away from school ending for the year and getting ready to go graduate and move on to the next grade. But also you're going to have a fun summer with your plushie and going to all these vendor shows, which we'll talk about here in a second too. But also you're going to have a new book out. That's cool.
Yes.
So take me through the vendor fairs real quick. How can we find you at these events, and which ones do you normally go to?
Well, we're going to go to the one that's down the street here, the market.
Oh, Farmers Market?
We're going to do that one first. We're going to try to do that this year, because every year we say that and we don't, because it's a lot that comes into it. But we're going to really try to do it this year. We're going to try to go to St. Louis and venture out. And also here in Alton, go to different daycares and different schools, do some summer schools. Yes.
So you aren't going to have very much free time this summer.
Nope.
But you know what I think's fun? You enjoy just talking with you, and it's not the camera or the studio or anything. It's just how you are, and you're just a happy-go-lucky kid, and I love it, Amoria. That's why you're doing some good stuff.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So what is your takeaway from the plushie? What do you want the public to know about your plushie the most?
I want them to know about my plushie the most is if you ever struggle with something and you don't know how to write a book or make a plushie, you could always buy my plushie.
That's a good answer. That's a heck of a sales pitch right there. And you can just...
That was good.
That was wonderful. I'm serious. That was the best sales pitch I've ever heard for a plushie. Go to Amoria Love. I am not laughing at you. That was just too good. That was too good. AmoriaLove.com. That's AmoriaLove.com. And you can pick up this plushie for $20. And you get a free coloring book that's included in the box, which is just such a cool thing. And also, where can we see your billboard?
It's off of 170 in Olive.
Oh, wow.
But it's also throughout the Costco's. Throughout St. Louis. They're going to have showings throughout St. Louis. And then also her plushie is at Today's Beauty. Oh, it's being sold there, really Today's cool. Beauty.
And that's over there right on Central.
Central, right, yes.
Really cool.
So they can get a copy of the plushie or the book.
So if you're driving around the St. Louis Metro East, keep your eyes on the road. But if you have a chance to pick up, your eyes for a second and look up, see if you see Amoria on that billboard.
Yes.
And thank you so much, as always, for stopping by. It's always great to talk with you. And you have a great rest of your day, okay?
Okay, you too.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Us. No, anytime, seriously. Keep coming back on because I love following this story.
Thank you so much.
We'll take a quick... Oh, actually, no. We're out of time. I forgot. This is our last interview for Monday. See you later. I am out of time, but we'll see you back here tomorrow on a Tuesday. Until then, try your best to stay out of jail.
He once knew. Oh, yes, he did. He said he would.